Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, my name is Brad. This is my channel Animate Orange. Welcome to the build video for another Metal Earth model, this time My Little Pony. We're going to build Applejack. I don't know if these are technically considered a Legends model, but that's what I think of them as, because they're small and simple, and this one is on the easier scale. If you look on the back, kind of like the Legends model that Metal Earth has been coming out with a lot lately. But yes, I'm going to build something from My Little Pony, because still, it's a little metal model and it's an interesting build. I'm curious to do it, and I'm certain there are people out there would like to see how it comes together. So let's move to the table, open this up, see what's inside, talk about the directions, some tools I'm going to use, and put it together. And we have Applejack, one of the ponies from My Little Pony, and what is inside. Boop. We have one somewhat colorful sheet of metal and one piece of paper for the instructions. And if we open this up, this is my first of the My Little Pony models. We have a small piece of paper for the instructions. And I believe somebody had told me this before, but this is similar to some of the Disney stuff that I've done. Specifically, I did Stitch, and it was a very similar instructions, very simplistic. And I'm guessing this does not have, most of the Metal Earth models have a layout of the sheet, but I don't think this one obviously does not. I do not see it. So what's probably happened is the part numbers, yes, are on the back of the metal sheet. So this is a little bit different than a standard Metal Earth model. The part numbers do not have their separate piece of paper or diagram showing what they are. They're on the back of the sheet. But it's a pretty simple model, so that's not hard to figure out. We've got some assembly tips, which, you know, I'll give tips as I go along. And we'll talk about tools here in a second. And we've got step 1, step 2. It looks like it's just those two steps. There's nothing on the back. So we find part 1, shape it thus. Part 2, shape that like this. Plug them together. And then parts 3, 4, 5, and 6, all of those come together over part 1, and you end up with that. Pretty simple. Part 7 and part 8 wraps around, those two come together, and then this part plugs in here. And then we've got 9, 10, 11, these three parts come together in this fashion and plug on top. And you've got the head. And then we jump down to part 2, or step 2. Pretty much the same story. Find the parts, shape them as indicated. You know, these parts come together here, the body pieces come together down here, and once you've plugged everything together, you've pretty much got your model. It's a little bit less than clear how the head attaches from this, but I imagine once you get the parts together, it'll, I mean, there's only one place the head goes. So, well, talk a little bit about tools, and we'll put it together. Let's talk a little bit about tools. The very basics of what you're going to need is a pair of tweezers and some clippers. The tweezers, you can do a lot of bending, shaping, twisting of tabs, folding of things over. The clippers are going to help you get the pieces out of the sheets cleanly and easily by clipping them out instead of trying to bend them out, which can cause damage. I've also supplemented my set with some precision tweezers. I have a couple of pointed ones here. One, I ground the tip down just a little bit to give it a more sturdy tip for tabs and twisting things, and then I have a precision flat set, and between all of these I can do a lot of bending and shaping and twisting. I also strongly recommend some sort of pliers to complement your set. I have some flat nose here that have definite uses. I have some long needle nose pliers for some of the longer pieces, and then I have some curved tips for grabbing things at an angle and bending them over. For shaping round shapes, you'll find that I frequently use tools like this. These are 3D printed tools that I designed and printed for making round shapes and cone shapes. But you can use things around the house like pens, pencils, maybe large sewing or crafting needles. You can pick up some dowel rods at a craft store or hardware store, or an inexpensive drill bit set from the discount bin, and use the flat ends to do your shaping. And with the dowel rod, you can sharpen one end with a pencil sharpener, and that will give you some cone shaping as well.
I decided to clip out several pieces before I started folding and shaping anything. I was hoping to fold the ear back just a little. I may have overdid it. I didn't realize it until later, but I should have flipped part 7 and had the colored side facing up. To shape the top part of this hat, I used a 3D printed taper that I had designed. It's just basically a rod or stick that's a little bit wider or bigger in diameter on one end than the other, so it gives a tapered effect. It's very useful for shaping the slightly tapered top section of the hat. There is so much minor curving and shaping in this model. I find myself really enjoying this build. Time to pull the lightly twist trick. For unstable parts, I will lightly twist a tab to hold things in place and together, and when more of the model or the structure is complete, I will go back, untwist, and fold these tabs over for a neater look. The instructions seem to suggest that you should attach part 24 to the tail and then attach the tail assembly to the body. Fine, but before I attach the tail to 24, I think I should get part 24 into the proper shape to fit. I'm noticing that something isn't right. Looks like I have part 24 flipped. The wider part goes down towards the legs. When I went to attach this little ponytail, I noticed that the slots were on the wrong side. It was here that I realized I had put part 7 upside down. I spent some time disassembling the head and fixing that mistake. I was hoping that both tabs would slide right into place, but it did not happen that way. After a couple of tries, I separated one side and tab a little to get that tab into place first, twisted and secured, and then I worked the other tab into its place and secured it. And there we have it, all finished. It took me about 68 minutes to build this particular model, although with the one mistake I made, I wasted about 12 minutes correcting it. Should have only taken 56 minutes, which is longer than the previous Legends type models I've done, though I wouldn't call this any more difficult. It was actually as easy, if not easier, than many of the Legends superhero models. Just a lot more hand shaping, which actually made it fun.